marijuana food items right now that are produced in the state. We will be implementing severe administrative penalties, as well as the ability for the Attorney General's office to pursue criminal charges for any distribution to a minor, whether that's through a licensed entity or just an individual acting on their own. We understand the strong public health and public safety needs that come with doing this, especially as it pertains to impaired driving, and so we are dedicating resources to the state police to be able to train more drug enforcement recognition officers. And we will also be putting in place administrative penalties so that if someone refuses a roadside chemical test that detects for the use of marijuana or refuses evaluation by a drug recognition expert, there will be an automatic 6 months administrative suspension of their license, just as we have in place for alcohol right now for people who refuse to undergo a breathalyzer test. We will be making sure that we have the proper resources available to the Departments of Health, the Department of Health and Human Safety, the Department of Public Safety, in order to properly regulate this market and this industry. 25% of all the tax revenue that's collected by the state will go towards regulation, public health, and public safety. These will include programs to do public education, public awareness around marijuana use. There will be funding for prevention programs. There will be funding for law enforcement in order to do more drug recognition expert training. There will also be dedicated funds for municipalities. And one of the things that we're very excited about, which no other place is doing right now, is we are going to be dedicating funds to municipalities, whether they ban these licenses or not. So 15% of all the tax revenue that's collected by the state will be allocated to municipalities and towns based off a funding formula. This funding formula will provide revenue to cities and towns regardless of whether they allow these licenses or not, because we understand that the externalities of marijuana legalization impact cities and towns whether you have licenses there or not. The remainder of those funds will be allocated to cities and towns based off of a funding formula that takes into account how many and what type of licenses they allow within their jurisdiction, as well as the amount of sales that occur within the municipality. So every single city and town will be receiving funds to help address local impact, and then those that allow more licenses and conduct more sales will be receiving additional revenue.